Napster is a web service that was created and launched in 1999 by college students Sean Fanning and Sean Parker in Massachusetts with the intention of making digital music more accessible through the use of MP3 files, revolutionizing the way music was consumed. Unknowingly, the creators of Napster would spark reaction from artists whose entire careers were put in jeopardy as their work was available for no cost. The flawed ideology of Napster services incited one of the most controversial yet important reforms in music as a genre. So how did they do it? How did two lowly college students impact the world of file sharing in a way never seen before in a heated dispute with one of the world's most popular and iconic bands? What made this platform, originally intended for ease of sharing among friends, a nightmare for aspiring musicians? And how did Napster's reaction to this backlash result in it reshaping itself into a real, credible streaming platform despite its unreliable and complex history? How did Napster reform the industry and leave way for dominant services such as Spotify in the modern era?
Before Napster's launch in 1999, people had to record music onto cassette tapes or burn CDs to share music. To legally acquire music, one had to purchase it from a physical store such as The Wall. This required people to have a physical item in order to pass music from one person to another. Napster itself functioned on one person buying the audio of a song or album and importing it to Napster digitally. From there, users of Napster could download the song in the MP3 format to their own devices entirely for free.
Music fans reacted to Napster positively for two reasons. People could get their music without having to pay for it, and they could access a large quantity of music from their own home. Some artists were even on the side of Napster, under the influence that it was providing exposure to music as a whole.
Even in 1967, when FM radio came about, and there was this big outcry that the quality of the radio is actually going to take aboard the artist's music and take away from their sales point. When cassette recorders came in, it was this, they're going to rob, they're going to take away from the sales. And this has proven to be contrary to what has happened. Matter of fact, it's a super turbo booster to the industry.
This was clearly a major problem for musicians, as their main source of income, selling records, quickly became irrelevant as Napster's system completely eliminated the need for them. Sales dwindled as only a few fans purchased the songs and immediately allocated them to thousands of fans for free. Aside from die-hard fans attending live concerts, there was no incentive to purchase the artist's work, since Napster allowed users to access it for free. Multiple bands began to notice, including popular rock band Metallica. The band's spokesperson and drummer, Lars Ulrich, provided a statement to the Senate Judiciary Committee in their eventual lawsuit against Napster.
We were startled to hear reports that 5 or 6 versions of our work in progress were already being played on some U.S. radio stations. We traced the source of this leak to a corporation called Napster. Additionally, we learned that all our previously recorded copyright songs were, via Napster, available for anyone around the world to download from the internet in a digital format known as MP3. In fact, in a 48-hour period where we monitored Napster, over 300,000 users made 1.4 million free downloads of Metallica's music. Napster hijacked our music without asking. They never sought our permission. Our catalog of music simply became available for free downloads on the Napster system. If you're not fortunate enough to own a computer, there's only one way to assemble a music collection the equivalent of a Napster user: theft. Walk into a record store, grab what you want, and walk out. The difference is that the familiar phrase, "file's done," is now replaced by another familiar phrase, "you're under arrest."
Fans of Metallica did not react well when they heard about Metallica's lawsuit. They were mainly against the fact that they would have to pay for music if Metallica succeeded. Rob Jones, founder of KNAC.com, a website created for heavy metal fans, stated,
There are going to be Metallica CD burnings if they try this.
Many fans were threatening to abandon Metallica's band if they attempted to file a lawsuit against Napster. Fans felt as though bands already had enough money, and Rob Jones even declared that Metallica was being money hungry and greedy and that they have lost touch with their fans. People felt it was just another form of illegally recording concerts and copying music through cassette tapes. People were already sharing music illegally, and Napster was just another medium of doing so.
However, Metallica saw the issue from a different angle. Metallica's lawyer, Howard King, states that Metallica and other bands were investing millions of dollars into albums that were getting little of their investment back due to Napster's peer-to-peer sharing. Howard King publicly stated,
The band would like to sell some albums,
referring to that Metallica was making almost no money because most music was consumed via Napster.
On April 13, 2000, Metallica officially filed a civil lawsuit against Napster Incorporated over a violation of copyright law in the U.S. District Court for the Northern District of California, which is a federal court. Metallica's argument was that by sharing and reproducing Metallica's music, copyright laws regarding the theft and reproduction of intellectual property were violated. Napster's defense was that they were protected under Section 1008 of the Audio Home Recording Act of 1992, which states,
"No action may be brought under the title alleging infringement of copyright based on the manufacture, importation, or distribution of a digital audio recording device."
effectively meaning that no lawsuits may be filed based on the creation of a way to consume media. Napster also argued that they are not involved with piracy because the pirated music isn't kept on the company computers, rather the user who imported the song onto the software. This argument fails under RICO, the Racketeering, Influenced, and Corrupt Organizations Act. RICO states that the hosts of crime are still liable, whether actively participating in crime or not. Metallica wanted a minimum of $10 million in damages, worth almost $19 million today, and hired NetPD, Network Performance Detection, which was a tech firm with the means to trace IP addresses of Napster users back to real people, to create a list of users violating copyright laws by illegally sharing Metallica's songs. NetPD created a document with over 335,000 people that were permanently banned from using Napster. Metallica also demanded Napster to remove Metallica's songs from peer-to-peer sharing. While Metallica could only legally ban those pirating their music, this led to many more artists and studios suing under the same jurisdiction to ban more users from Napster. During March 2001, Judge Marilyn Hall Patel found Napster liable, which meant Napster was forced to remove all Metallica songs entirely from their database. After Napster was hit with more lawsuits and over 230,000 more users were banned, they finally had to file for bankruptcy.
This debate showed that there was a clear need for the reformation of copyright laws to adapt to the rapidly transforming realm of technology in digital music sharing. The pre-existing Digital Millennium Copyright Act, more commonly the DMCA, of 1998, was especially reinforced and regulated as a result of this case. The DMCA allows for the copyright takedown system, allowing people to warn and give punishment over stolen intellectual property, more legal protection to encourage those to spread their digitally owned things, and for making it illegal to provide false information over who holds the copyright for any given item. Due to the fact that the case of Metallica v. Napster occurred at the onset of digital music sharing, it was difficult to enforce copyright laws because much of the online music sharing industry was new and untested. However, after the case of Metallica v. Napster, the DMCA became less of a loose guideline and more of a strictly regulated law, as Metallica highlighted the need for reform in the digital music sharing space, requiring stricter regulation.
The Napster v. Metallica court case influenced today's modern streaming, such as platforms like Spotify, Apple Music, and YouTube Music. Currently, services use advertisements to generate revenue for artists. There are also paid versions of many of these apps, in which ads are not played and more features are unlocked by the user. Opening Spotify today results in not only the music, but multiple visual ads, including those for paid services. It is estimated by many that anywhere over 2/3 of most artists' payment is generated through these music streaming services, which is possible now to these including ads or paid versions. Napster's influence also extends to the way music is shared, with a very similar peer-to-peer sharing service that allows users to send songs to friends on the same platform, also creating ad revenue through their listening. Sharing the file of a song's audio is an example of this and how Napster mainly worked. Napster functioned on one person buying the audio of a song or album and importing it to Napster, allowing P2P sharing for whoever wanted it. Modern services have reformed this idea by using a similar method in which files are uploaded and can be accessed by users, including sharing to friends, but with a revenue-generating model via the use of ads and/or paid services with the app, all of which the artist receives payment. It is estimated that 1/10 of a cent goes to the artist is generated per stream of a song.
Ultimately, Napster was the first widely available peer-to-peer music sharing platform intended to make music more accessible through the free download of MP3 files, revolutionizing the way music was consumed. This unpaid availability caused litigation from many in the music industry who felt that copyrighted music being available for anyone to download for free was not acceptable. As such, the music industry reacted by taking legal action that resulted in the site being shut down, reforming copyright laws in the process, and paving the way for the success of current music streaming platforms such as Spotify.